morning. Welcome. Good morning, Glendale here. Robert Heidt, President and CEO of the Glendale Chamber. And today, our lovely guest is the one and only Patti O'Brien, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Maricopa Corporate College. Welcome, Patti. How are you this morning?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
No, thank you. So before we dive into some questions, tell us, who is Patti? For those of our member base and throughout our community that may not know, tell us who you are, Patti.
Like you said, I'm Patti O'Brien. I'm with the Maricopa Corporate College, and I have been with the Maricopa Corporate College since its launch in early 2014. So I've been with the Maricopa Community College District for quite a few years now, and love what I do. Love connecting business community to our education resources. I have been in Arizona the same amount of time as well. Moved here in 2014 as well from Colorado. So love it, and happy to be here.
Nice. Well, thank you. Thank you. So we recently made headlines together, and I have a copy of the Glendale Star. So recently we made headlines together in a new partnership with you on the Concierge Program, which we're grateful to our connection and the opportunities that it will bring for the business community and the workforce and the upskilling that's available within Glendale and the West Valley. So do you want to share a little bit more with us about kind of what that partnership is and means to business and the community and really workforce, because workforce development is a sweet spot for chambers and our members.
Yep. Oh, I'd be happy to share more, and we're thrilled about our partnership. We believe strongly in this service that we're providing to employers and their employee base who would love to continue their college education. So partnering with the Glendale Chamber to get the word out and to let businesses know that we're here has been very exciting for us. So a little bit about the education concierge service that we provide. I want to start, I guess, with describing what the Maricopa Corporate College is here to do. And we were developed to help serve the business community. So as you know, the Maricopa Community Colleges has 10 colleges throughout the Valley. So quite a bandwidth of resources and campuses. So we work with employers to try to help them navigate more efficiently and more effectively throughout the district. So depending on which college campus, which part of the Valley, where they want to connect, the corporate college is here to help them do that in a streamlined fashion and connect them to the colleges as quickly as possible. So what we found early on when we started speaking with employers, one of our number one initiatives was to provide employee upskilling and customized training. And when we were doing that and speaking with employers, we learned also that some of their number one needs were recruiting and retention. And so we got into some great conversations a couple of years ago about that and learned that while employers are offering a wonderful tuition assistance program as a benefit to their employees, not many employees, less than 10% nationwide are able to actually take advantage of their tuition benefit. So they have this available to them, but then with life and busy full-time schedules and family and everything that happens when we enter into the workforce, it was difficult for folks to actually take advantage of that benefit and extend their college education or begin their college education if they had not yet.
Absolutely.
So we we went in and brainstormed and tried to figure out what we could offer to make that easier for folks to get them to utilize the tuition assistance program more fully. And that's where the education concierge was born. A little bit of the background there.
I love it. And I think you really have hit on something that's unique because, we have a wide diversified membership base. And while we cover Glendale and the West Valley, many of those times that companies have those needs, they know that we have educational partnerships like you all out there, but they have yet to connect. And so the chamber is a real good conduit because we have the pulse of the business community, and then we have our connection and partnership with education. So helping to foster that relationship is vital. And I think it can sometimes be intimidating to navigate. Not that people are unfriendly on any of the campuses or through the corporate college, but it's a little intimidating the older we get to go back into classroom setting or go back into, it can be a fearful world. So to have folks on your team that are trained and designed to maximize every opportunity, it's kind of a great buddy system, if you will, where someone can partner with someone on your team to understand, and if the employer doesn't offer tuition assistance, what other resources might be out there for upskilling. And so for us as a chamber, it's a natural fit. So we're great. Now, when was the concierge program officially created or launched? So we're not your first out of the gate. I think you already have some partnerships in place with other businesses that you've worked for, or worked with rather.
Yes, we do. It's really been, we had a partnership that came into effect probably in about 2016. The education concierge service that we developed that we wanted to offer to additional employers was pretty much launched in 2018. And we've had to carefully gauge our ability to scale the service as well. So I think, would call ourselves maybe in a pilot phase the first year or so to make sure, because we are really giving a high touch service to these employees, we wanted to make sure that we could scale. And when I say we, I want to bring in and mention the district has student services enrollment management team. So the
Yes.
corporate college has partnered with the district office student services division, in particularly their enrollment management team. So they already are specialists at helping everything you just talked about, helping students and future students navigate the process to get enrolled, and not only to get enrolled, but to decide what would be the right path. And that is where this partnership with employers and with the chamber comes into play, because some employers will offer maybe a tuition benefit on only certain career pathways.
Yep.
Other employers will offer the benefit for whatever career pathway the employee wants to engage in. So part of the service that we provide is learning and understanding the employer's tuition program. So what are the requirements? Is it an upfront payment? Is it a reimbursement? Is there a grade requirement? Those kinds of things, I think also, like you mentioned, can be a little bit intimidating or complicated to navigate for employees. So we try to learn that side of it. What do they need to turn in? What are their deadlines to get the benefit from the employer? Understand that and pair that with enrollment deadlines or requirements there. And then, like you mentioned too, what are the other resources for funding available? So if tuition benefit isn't available, is there financial aid, or are there grants? What other resources can these students have at their fingertips? So that's a piece of it as well.
I think it's a great value add for the business community because, if you're the owner operator of a business and you have programs in place that you want to help your workforce grow and upskill, sometimes you don't have that partner. And so this really, while the services have always been around and there's always been great help and support system, it really is targeted to the business community. So for us as a chamber, we find this as a great value add to help the businesses connect. They're busy doing what they do best, whatever product they offer, whatever service they offer, to now know that they've got this great new connection through their chamber membership with us and you all at the corporate college to say, wait, if you offer these things, let us help work with your folks. And upskilling is important, and understanding the different needs. We live in a very technological world. Innovation is a part of it. So it's definitely it has its tremendous values, and with the continued growth that we're here seeing in the West Valley, I can only see great things to come. And we're fortunate because we have GCC right here in our backyard, and Terry and her team there, and then just around the corner of the West Valley we have Estrella Mountain with Ray over there. So we have a great opportunity to really connect the West Valley in this. A question. So we're slowly coming back out to what we would say is normal again from the pandemic. How has this transformed how you're operating with the concierge program throughout the pandemic, or how do you see this transforming as we move more to kind of back to normal in that sense? Any differences that you've noticed?
I think, like the colleges, subtle differences, but everyone was able to adapt. While it was very tricky, they were able to adapt thousands of programs to the virtual environment. Same with the advising and the meetings and the attention that that the concierge offers to these employees. In some ways, it became even more effective to connect with employees because we were able to do it virtually. So we have digital schedulers and calendars where an employee can just click in, pick 15 minutes with the advisor, and get a session. So, in that way, like we all experience, the technology has made things move quickly and efficiently. We do, as part of the concierge, work with employers and the chamber as well. It's a neat way to figure out how many members have employees that maybe could all take COM 110 or a course they have in common? And we'll do this for employers as well. Do they have a set of 15 to 20 employees that could take a specific class? Is it organizational leadership? Is it communication? And is there something in common where they could actually attend together? And then we partner with the neighboring colleges, like you mentioned, Glendale and Estrella, and bring these classes in cohort style to the employees. And we can do it as well, which we've talked about through the chamber. So those are some in-person aspects. We also do in-person info sessions at employee sites. And so those have all turned virtual during the pandemic. But we were super excited to find that it was just as effective. People could still attend. Our success rates through classes are the same. So just like we found, everyone's been so resilient and able to adapt to this environment. So moving along in the same.
Well, I think it's, we're all learning new ways to do things. I think we all took on more roles and more responsibilities as we had to kind of pivot and transition. But I think as employers are coming out of this, at least as we here at the Chamber talking to employers, is they're really looking at what they do, how they do it, and opportunities. And I think this program is really another way, as we say as a chamber, we're not doing what you do. Our team here isn't, but we're at that intersection of opportunity. And so what we want to do is make sure every tool gets in the toolbox. The more that we can help businesses become more successful, their workforce grow and develop, that means a stronger workforce to pull from here as we continue to grow. They move on in their career and hopefully their salaries, which gives them the ability to do more and spend more. So it really goes hand in glove with the ecosystem of having a strong local workforce. And, I always like to say that really the biggest line item in any corporation or any business is their human capital, their payroll, their workforce. So we have to work and develop. We learn every day. I think each of us. So we're grateful to you. With regard to how you come out of the pandemic, do you see the need, or that are you able to continue to work virtually with great success? Do you see that? Or do you feel that more people are going to want to get back to that in person, like what you described? If there's 20 people, a company and some others that want to part together on that, do you see it as being a hybrid model, or are you all planning for both? What would that look like?
I think we're planning for both. I think what we're finding is there's preference for both, for either. Where I think that the virtual and the remote virtual may not go away like we, as much as it had before the pandemic. I think there's a very effective, and a lot of people are finding that that's works for them. So I would say, just like you mentioned, I think there's going to be a mix, and folks are going to have a choice of what works best for them. And I think you may be finding that as well. It seems to
Absolutely.
be, the businesses are learning that too. They're learning that some jobs may stay remote. There may be choice. So it did change our environment, moved us all forward technologically. It made us get some electronic documents in place so that folks could fill out applications even more than they used to. So I think we'll see a little bit of both. I think it's going to be a mix.
That's great. And so now how many total are on your team there, Patti, that are working through the corporate college side?
We have 12 in the corporate college division, and we offer everything from employee training and upskilling, and we provide subjects from everything to ESL, English as a second language, to maybe Microsoft Excel and technical training, to critical thinking and problem solving, diversity and team building, all kinds of soft skills. We also do onboarding, recruiting and onboarding job training boot camps. So we've kind of created a full circle where how can we assist employers? A lot of time it's finding folks, and not only finding them, but maybe helping them, inspire them that if with just a few skills, they're ready for a very quality interview and a job and a career maybe they never imagined. So we've got a team of 12 doing that. And then when we talk about the education concierge in particular, we have a team of, gosh, I think it's about 7 to 8 right now, plus a call center that's supporting them. The enrollment concierge team that we have behind this initiative.
I love it. I think it's great to have partnerships like this, and that the college system has really looked at how to embrace the relationship with the business community. And so it matters and means a lot. So we thank you at the Glendale Chamber. And I think that, like you mentioned, there are people who are in jobs, or they're working today, but they have aspirations to go somewhere else, or they want to move onward in their life, or their goals or their career. And so knowing that there are partnerships and resources out there that can help them and guide them and work with them to get to that next level is vital. Because just if I look back where I was 25, 30 years ago, I would have never thought I was sitting here in Glendale, Arizona, running the Glendale Chamber. And so I think that the more that we can keep these partnerships out there and the value and making sure that we make those connections, the better it is for our workforce and quality of work. And it is intimidating because interviewing and preparing for a job is much different today than it was 5, 10, 15 years ago. And so sometimes you all may be dealing with a little bit, I don't want to say aged workforce, but people who have families and have different obligations. So there's different sensitivities that have to come into play when someone's going to embark, because it's a little scary out there. But we're grateful for you and your mighty team of what they do. So tell me, anything that I didn't ask you about that we should bring up or share with those who are not as familiar with the Maricopa Corporate College System or the things that you do?
I think you've covered a lot. I wanted to say that our goal on top of that is what you were just alluding to, is just reminding our community that we have this resource of the community colleges, right in their backyard. And what we find is that whether they have attended college and maybe they have their associate's degree, maybe they have their bachelor's degree already, but there's many programs that they can come back for an advanced certification. So inviting folks to come back to the community colleges if they've been there before. And then for first-year college students or first-time college students or who have not begun their college education, that we're there and we're here to make it simple. Our motto at the Maricopa Community Colleges is make it happen. So we're here to help folks make it happen. And like you said, tackle that career they dreamed of that maybe they never were able to take advantage of because time got in the way and life's responsibilities got in the way. So that's our mission, is to get them back on track to something that they had dreamed about. Maybe they hadn't even dreamed about it, but we're going to help them find it.
I love it. And one thing I tell you, in the last few weeks, I've heard more people talk about community colleges. And I think it's because of some of the conversation going on at the federal level. Obviously, the First Lady of the United States is a big proponent of education. We in Arizona need to do a better job, I think, collectively funding education and supporting education. So when conversations happen at a national level, and community colleges kind of brought up, it does good for us because it reminds people of the resources and that the number of campuses we have here in the area and the region. So anything that we can do to be a good partner and support, don't ever hesitate to reach out. So tell folks, how can they find out, where can they find you, website, or what information that they should look if they're looking to find Patti or the resources you offer?
They can actually go to the Glendale Chamber website, I think, and find a link. Yep, there we go. And then maricopacorporate.com. They can go there and find a link for concierge services as well. And then I think we have flyers and all kinds of extra landing pages available. When employers hear our message here that we're talking about today and decide to become themselves an education partner like the Glendale Chamber has, then what the part of the service is creating a customized landing page with their branding that they're able to share with their employees. So part of this partnership and concierge program brings them all the digital components and communication that they need to share with their employees to make it real easy for them, where it's a landing page they click on, and they can fill out, schedule a time, meet with an advisor. So it's that simple. So we'll have it ready for them.
I love it. I love the customization. And again, there's some companies that have that, inner portal just for their staff and things like that, so that it really becomes customizable for them. We can't thank you enough, Patti. While we may have recently announced our partnership in working with the Concierge Program, I just want to remind everyone we've had a long-standing history. We've worked on some other programs before where we've done some lunch and learns and businesses. So we got to give a shout out to Emilio and the team, because you've got great partners on your team that have already been engaged with us. I think we've just now recognize the need to take it to the next level and keep going forward. So I can't thank you enough for joining me here today on Good Morning Glendale. And we thank everyone at home. So Patti, you're our final thought of the day. Any words of wisdom before we close out?
Just that we really appreciate you and your support of education and the workforce. You're making it easy for us to get the word out there and do what we do best as well. So we really appreciate what you're doing for our community. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you.